It's been a long time since I did a video, um, so a lot has changed since my last video. I think the last video I did, I was talking about King Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus King Kong, whichever it is. I got glasses, so that's good. It's nice to be seeing really clear. But also a lot of bad things have happened. Maybe a day or two after, it was either the night of my last video or a day later, I went to a hospital for a migraine, and it ended up being one of the most traumatic experiences I've gone through. It was probably the second worst thing to ever happen to me. And there really aren't words to describe it properly. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, the night of the hospital, I was given a drug called Campazine, which is a first generation antipsychotic, and I'm taking risperidone, which is a second generation antipsychotic and more tolerated. The hospital should not have given me an antipsychotic, and I explained that I didn't want to be given anything that would make me feel high or altered mentally. Um, and they seemed to listen to me. That they were like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be fine," but they shouldn't have given me an antipsychotic on top of the antipsychotic I was already taking, and I had a psychotic episode. I basically, I had like a psychedelic sort of trip with a body high that lasted 2.5 days. And it was absolutely horrible. The first night I was suicidal because it was the scariest thing I've ever gone through. Um, and then coping with it, the the last couple days of that experience were just very hard. That was like nothing I've ever gone through. Anyway, since then, I started taking risperidone twice a day, and it seemed that I began getting a sort of discomfort in my head where I become sensitive to sound. Um, and that includes sounds in my body, like swallowing or talking, so I have to talk at a quieter tone. Since I felt uncomfortable on that 2 milligrams of risperidone every day, I've since gone down to 1 milligram at 11 p.m. every night again. And the head sensation has gone away slightly, but I still experience it at times, and it's very uncomfortable when it does come up. I don't really remember where I was in what I was saying. I think I was describing the head sensation that I get. Like I said, uh, since I went back down to 1 milligram of risperidone every day, I've had less of the head sensation, but I still get it sometimes, and it's very uncomfortable. I deal with it at least once a day. Um, eh, the sensitivity to sound is constant, but I also get a very strange feeling, almost as though something is separating here. It's so hard to describe, and that's the scary thing. It'll almost feel like my balance is off in my head. Um, and so yeah. Anyway, I got my ears checked because I thought it might be something with that. My ears are fine, so it leads me to believe that it's either a side effect of the medication or it's some sort of strange medical issue. I don't really know. I think it has something to do with the meds, but my psychiatrist doesn't think so. Then again, there are a lot of side effects that go unnoticed and things like that. So it's still possible that it's from the meds, I would say. Anyway, I'm doing a little bit better than I was before. I'm a lot better than how the hospital left me. But since everything happened, I've had trouble leaving the house. And going to stores and crowded places has been very hard for me, and it's been very triggering. So I've kind of stayed away from going out or going to places. I've seen my friends here and there, not very frequently. Um, eh, and the other thing is, during the day, since I take my meds at night, during the day I have to deal with my sort of delusions, my paranoid thinking that weird things are going to happen. Yeah, I've got all these fears that aren't based in reality, and I have to deal with them. And I'm so high in anxiety that when I'm alone, it's sort of just watching movies to pass the time while second guessing every sound I hear, and it's just not good. The things have not been great, uh, and so it's escalated to the point where, um, I'm wondering if I'm on the right meds or not. I also would like a second opinion in terms of my diagnosis. My psychiatrist says I have unspecified psychosis, dissociative disorder, and generalized anxiety. But I feel as though all of those symptoms are coming from something else, if that makes sense. I want to know what it is that I have exactly. So things have escalated to the point where uh, this Thursday, I'm going to be going into an inpatient treatment facility to try and sort out these issues. Um, I would like to manage my medication and see if I'm taking the right drug to help my condition, and I also would like a second opinion on what it is I have exactly. I think I'm having some obsessive compulsive disorder like behavior, but then again, I'm not a doctor, so I have no idea what's really going on. The medication, the risperidone seems to be helping a bit. It makes things more manageable and a little bit more comfortable, but I'm still struggling. So it's no quality of life not being able to like leave the house and just have all these weird issues and second guess all the sounds you hear, and just worry that you're gonna go crazy. So I'm so worried. I'm so worried about going into this program. I'm going into it wanting it to be like 1 to 3 days, but generally the average length of a stay is like 10 to 14 or 16 days, I think. And I'm not prepared for that. I'm not uh, I'm not even prepared to go to a friend's house down the street. So I'm super anxious about going, and everyone around me seems to believe that this is the push that I need to get better, and I think, deep down I know that that's true, but I do not feel prepared for what's ahead. And the tough thing is, I have to decide between, am I gonna push through this really uncomfortable situation, or am I gonna push through this really uncomfortable situation alone? Like, it's gonna be uncomfortable going to the hospital or this treatment facility, because I'm gonna be with strangers, and it's in a foreign place. I'm not ready for that, but I'm also not ready to continue white knuckling this whole thing on my own. So I feel like I don't really have a choice. I gotta go. the other thing, like, I feel like I've gone through so much change in little time, and I think I've definitely become traumatized after the hospital incident. But there are just weird changes that I've noticed in my personality, or maybe not my personality, but like, one of my favorite things is horror stuff, horror movies and books and whatever else. I haven't read in a bit because most of my books are horror books, and I haven't been able to watch a lot of the same movies because I'm very sensitive to violence suddenly. Um, even even some TV commercials, like, are oddly disturbing to me, and there's a lot of strange things going on in my thinking, which is very uncomfortable, So once again, it feels like I have to just go. And today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Wednesday will be the last day that I get to sort of enjoy myself, and then in the morning, and enjoy myself as much as I can. That basically just looks like finding little moments where I'm not like panicking or overthinking. So, the situation just sucks. I the other thing is, going into the treatment facility is all about like perspective or state of mind. Like, I could go into it feeling strong or trying to be strong and set goals and say, I'm going to stay positive and I'm going to push through the uncomfortable, and I'm just going to get through it and I'm going to be better. But that's a lot easier said than done. I really don't want to go. But I don't have much to live for the way that I'm going right now. So the hope is to get my mental health sorted in there. And, you know, I think it's what I really need, but I am so scared. I just wanted to do a video talking about everything because this channel has always been a sort of archive or collective of what's going on with me, whatever I'm feeling, movie reviews, book reviews. I haven't been able to do all of those things because life hasn't been that great lately, and I've been going through a lot. So I wanted to explain what's happening with me. Um, yeah, I just wanted to give explanation. So that's about it. Um, That's all I really wanted to say. I don't know if I'm going to do another video before I go. Maybe when I go out, I'll do a video. I'm sure I will. Um, but I really don't know how it's going to go. I'm always scared too. Like, you know, this is voluntary, me going into this facility, but I still have a fear of like, what if they don't let me leave, and I don't think that that's sensible, like, I don't know why I wouldn't be able to leave. I'm not a danger to myself or others, and all my issues are just me, and like, I don't think there's any reason to be afraid of a lot of the things I'm afraid of, but um, still, it's something that I have to deal with, and I don't know. It's gonna be hard getting through this, but there's not much else to do, so I'm gonna stop the video now.